I am living in Switzerland right now, but I will leave Europe soon because I want to have children, but I am scared to have children here and it's unsafe.
That's exactly their goal. Their goal is to eventually bring Islam to Europe, get rid of the Europeans that are there. You're helping them doing that. So I don't think you should leave Switzerland. Why would you?
I give up. I give Europe up because you have no free speech here. If I'm going to say I don't like radical Muslims, you can lose your apartment, your work. The sociality in Europe, it's fully broken in half. Either you are against the negative or you're a lefty and you say, let's open the borders and let every stupid radical criminal person inside and put money in their holes for free. For example, Germany, some terrorist guy what was in ISS goes to Germany, he gets 3,000 euros for free. He can do what he wants with that money. He don't need to work. That's how social help works in Europe.
Is there a country in Europe that you wish Switzerland would be resembled like? I think Poland is a good example.
You're fully right. Poland, Hungary, and Serbia are, I guess, the only good countries in Europe, mainly Slovakia too. But Poland is a really good example. Poland is really close to Russia, what I really like. I mean, I will move to Russia soon.
You said you're also for free speech. You think in Russia you have fully free speech?
Where do you have real free speech? For example, I go to Russia because I have there more free speech than in Switzerland or in Europe. You can Google really quick how many people got arrested in Russia because they just said some stupid shit in public, and how many people got arrested in Germany and Switzerland. In Germany and Switzerland in the 2022, it was like around 4,000 people, and in Russia it was, I think, 600 people.
Europe is heading for total and utter destruction. In last year's speech, I walked you through an average week in Europe, talked about rapes, stabbings, and terror attacks that were committed by migrants and still are committed by migrants on a daily basis. Because since then, ladies and gentlemen, things have only deteriorated here in Europe. Many experts have been warning for years now that a civil war is impending. But I believe that our reality is actually worse than that. In a civil war, there are two sides fighting. Here in Europe, only one side is. And I can tell you that it's not us. It's not the white native population of Europe. That doesn't mean, though, that the average European is okay with all of this. We are trying to constitute change through the official channels, but so far with no luck. And this is a pattern we see everywhere in Europe. Right-wing parties win the elections. In some countries, they even win with 30% of the votes. But since they never gain an absolute majority, coalitions have to be formed. And what always ends up happening is either one of the three following options. Option A, despite the right wing winning, the centrist parties then say, oh no, but that party is too extreme for us and we don't want to form a coalition with them. Or option B, even if a coalition does get formed, the policies get watered down so much so that nobody gets what they voted for. Or C, and this is something that we see increasingly often in Europe, the legal system steps in and thwarts all true right-wing efforts by deeming the policies to be in violation of European law and human rights.
Okay, so Europe is officially fucked. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been fucked for a long time, but now it's majorly fucked. So Austria has now declared that Sharia law is now a legal practice. Which, to be honest, it's no surprise considering now 50% of the school population are officially Muslims. Now, everybody that knows me knows I love everyone. I don't care where you're from, I don't care what you believe in, I don't care what your religion is, what color of skin you are. It really doesn't affect me. I treat everybody as an equal. But history will tell you that when a country is completely overrun by an Islamic population, usually tends to go to shit. Now, what really makes me upset is that our ancestors fought for centuries with sweat, blood, and tears. They gave their lives for a better future to keep Europe a Christian continent. Now, what I really, really struggle to understand is we allow these people to come to Europe and try to implement their rules and their beliefs onto us. Bearing in mind, it's our country and they're the guests. And we have been taught to be, tolerant and accept people and their beliefs. Now, the fact is, they don't accept our beliefs. From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, we allow them to preach their religion in Europe, but if you try to preach Christianity in their countries, you're likely going to die. Now, Austria has fallen, and don't get me wrong, that is probably going to be the first of many countries in Europe. And I really fear for Britain, especially now that Sadiq Khan has allegedly confirmed his desire to run for Prime Minister. Now, the UK is already extremely fucked, so one can only imagine what it will be like if he takes office. Now look, I've kept my mouth shut for a couple of years now after my TikTok account got banned. I really didn't want to risk my Instagram account also getting banned because it's a huge part of my life. But the fact is, if we don't act now, it's not us that are going to regret the future. It's our children and their children's children. For far too long, we have stood by and watched as our continent is evaded and slowly taken over. It's time to stand up and be counted if you don't want a future that you're going to regret.